I mean, I hate to be negative, but my oh my, that was an absolute disgrace of a hockey game. Sabres start 0-1. It feels like we're just right back in the Sabres hockey season. I mean, again, it's like an extension of last year, right? I mean, this Buffalo Sabres hockey team looks identical to the team that played last season. And I know it's just one game, and, it's kind of my job to overreact here. Again, it's one game. They play 82. We have another chance tomorrow to, get that win back and get back to even. But again, this team just looks the same as last year. Slow on transitions, sloppy passes. The power play just looks abysmal. Let's talk about the power play, right? I mean, they had 4 or 5 chances today and maybe had 1 or 2 scoring chances on their 4 or 5 power plays. I mean, it was an absolute joke. How does that happen? I mean, you have new coaching. They practice this. The whole mood of training camp and the preseason is the power play. Oh, the power play looks so much better. Again, we just have the same mistakes. Now, our one goal was Owen Power, which, again, if there's anyone to score that goal, I kind of want it to be Owen Power because, he's always in his head and he feeds off confidence. So maybe this will give Owen Power that confidence boost that he needs to become, that top echelon player that he can be. So, good for Owen Power getting that goal. But, man, oh, man, what a terrible game for the Buffalo Sabres. What a terrible way to start this season. UPL looked okay. Again, he made some really good saves early on to keep the team in the game. But again, the new guys that came in, they looked all right. But again, the biggest issue I think today was the power play, and that first line was just terrible. I mean, Tuck was invisible. Thompson was invisible. Peterka, not much of him either. Cousins started getting going midway through the game. I think he gave the Sabres a little bit of a jolt of energy. It didn't really work out. Jason Zucker looked all right? He found some opportunities, but just, wasn't able to put the puck in the net. Man, and then we go to the defense, and again, it's just the same stuff. Matthias Samuelsson starts the game off with a terrible pass to Jason Zucker that ends up, starting the scoring for the Devils. And it's been the same thing with Samuelsson over the past year. I mean, he just has not been in the game, right? Dumb passes, just not playing great defense. So, again, you're stuck with him for so long on this contract. You got to work with it and, hope he gets better. But, man, what a horrible start to Lindy Ruff 2.0, if you want to say. Just an embarrassment. I mean, the Sabres got bullied the entire game, and that's the PG way to say it. I mean, I could say so much more about this game. It was just an embarrassment as a Sabres fan, and each and every one of those players should be thoroughly embarrassed. I mean, you go overseas, you see that group of Sabres fans behind, the Sabres goal in the first period, just spending tons of money to be there, to have a great experience, and man, this team just doesn't show up until midway through the third period. And by then, it's just way too late. I mean, just what a joke. Again, it's one game out of 82. I get it, but I've seen zero change from last season to this season. And you could point to the preseason and say, well, they scored, 7 goals against, this team. They scored 5 goals against this team. Again, they're playing against AHL teams in the preseason. Those games do not count at all. And if you want to bring up the game against the Red Bulls, go ahead. But again, like Paul Hamilton said on the radio, that team, the Red Bulls team, would have a hard time making it in the East Coast League, let alone, play an NHL team. So, man, just what a joke today. Sorry for anyone that watched that game. Again, it just shows you have a GM that goes out in the offseason and does absolutely nothing, revamps the bottom 6. But again, a good bottom 6 isn't going to win you games. It'll hold you over, but it's just the cheapness of this owner, buying out Jeff Skinner. Again, I did not understand that move from when it happened, and I still don't understand it now. It just makes no sense, right? If you're going to buy out Jeff Skinner, okay, that's fine. You're freeing up money. You got to go out and get someone in the offseason, right? Make a trade, do something. They do absolutely nothing. No big money moves at all. I mean, they waited till the day before training camp started to sign Peyton Krebs to a pretty much minimum deal. I mean, this team just is so scuffed with money. They're so scared to spend any money, just so frugal, and it's just an absolute joke. I mean, I feel like that's the theme of this video here. This team is a joke, and it's just year after year after year after year, we see no change. Again, 2022 looked great, but again, it doesn't matter who's behind the bench. It doesn't matter, who's on the ice. And until we get a GM that can put together a good team, until we get an owner that lets his GM, go out and get the guys that he wants, nothing's going to change. We see no change here in Buffalo, and it's unfortunate. Again, they play bright and early tomorrow, so this video could be completely irrelevant. I hope they look better, they come out fierce and with some energy, and get that win right back. But today was just unacceptable, and if that continues the rest of the way, There's going to have to be some bigger changes than just a head coach in the offseason because, again, I wasn't the biggest Don Granato fan. I'm not going to pretend to be, but you could have put Don Granato behind the bench today and it would have been the same exact result, and I wouldn't have, even noticed because it looked like a game from last season, and it's just unacceptable. It really is. Again, it's supposed to be a new era of Sabres hockey. You get Lindy Ruff back. Dahlin's the captain. We got this new core, or, same core, but, this is finally their time to shine. I mean, if I'm the Sabres and Lindy Ruff, I'm making wholesale line changes tomorrow. This team just had no energy. I'm bringing Kulik in the lineup. Abe Kubel got hurt, so I'm putting Krebs in the lineup. I'm making, a ton of changes. Shoot, give me Jacob Bryce in the lineup tomorrow. I don't care. You got to make a ton of changes. Just unfortunate, right? I mean, the biggest theme was the power play, just absolutely sucking, and it is hard to work on the power play until you actually get in-game experience. I understand that, and this team, doesn't benefit from, commonality or common grounds like, Tampa Bay, for example, who has had the same top players for a couple seasons now. They don't really need preseason to gel. This team had no time to gel. They get sent over to Europe, play a couple preseason games, and, all of a sudden it's time to go. But they just came out flat. New Jersey looked like the faster team the entire game, and Markstrom made an incredible save on Abe Kubel, which, just kind of ended the game from that point forward. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is this team toast? I mean, I know it's one game into the season, but it's just unacceptable. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully we win tomorrow. Peace out.